Hello, I'm Amber Niblock, and this is the NRA-ILA Grassroots News Minute for Friday, November 16th. Just as NRA warned would happen, the Obama administration has moved forward with its plans to support a United Nations arms trade treaty. Just one day after the election, the U.S. mission to the UN made clear its support for renewed negotiations, casting a vote in favor of the resolution calling for a final United Nations conference on the arms trade treaty to be held in New York City from March 18th through the 28th. Undeterred by the failure of July's UN conference, in recent months the global civilian disarmament groups and their patron governments have been working nonstop to revive the treaty. The resolution notes that at the upcoming March conference, the last draft from the July conference will act as the starting point for beginning talks. Among the draft's most arduous requirements are those intending to burden and keep records on firearm owners. The draft states that, quote, each state party shall maintain national records and that, quote, records shall be kept for a minimum of 10 years. If this obligation were to be enacted and followed, it could result in registration for any American that purchases an imported firearm. Also, ammunition controls still remain within the scope of the working draft. Further, despite the already restrictive wording of the draft treaty, some global gun controllers have insisted that it doesn't go far enough. The umbrella arms trade treaty group known as the Control Arms Campaign, which includes the likes of Amnesty International, the International Action Network on Small Arms, and Oxfam International, among others, states that a treaty, quote, must include all weapons, all transfers, and all transactions. The Control Arms Campaign has also constructed a wish list to make the treaty more prohibitive. With several nations supporting this position and negotiations over the final text remaining fluid, there is a possibility that the final treaty could be far worse than the current draft. During the July negotiations, NRA Executive Vice President Wayne LaPierre made clear to the assembled UN delegates that, quote, any treaty that includes civilian firearm ownership in its scope will be met with the NRA's greatest force of opposition, end quote. The speech was bolstered by letters from a majority of U.S. senators and 130 representatives who made their opposition to a treaty encompassing civilian arms clear to President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Several writers noted NRA's opposition as the key to the failure of the July conference. And needless to say, our position will remain the same on any treaty that could adversely affect the rights of American firearm owners. NRA will be sure to keep our members and all Second Amendment supporters up to date on all developments. For more on this story and other important legislative alerts, please be sure to visit us at www.nraila.org.